Oh, maybe I should.
Started already?
I'm not gonna put my.
There it is, right there. Yeah.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Independent Producers Organization Live Showcase. And we have a very special, this is our first show where we're able to come in here and do what we normally do.
Great.
Yeah.
So this is great. This is great. So let's get right on to it. Our guest is Ovi Montine. We've been here before. Co-host Bruce Broussard. I'm Richard Carpenter. Okay.
Really awesome that this is our first show, and it's awesome to have Ovi on, this particular time.
Okay.
He's been on the show before, got me? And boy, I tell you, what a relationship since, because I've taken on the opportunity of bringing on my show, Ortegon Voter Digest. I had the opportunity to meet with the family, and the whole 9 yards, his dad, and they've written a book, and this, that, and the other, and so consequently, but as time goes, I plan to interview him on Ortegon Voters Digest. We're going to do that at another setting, and we're going to talk about the book in depth, because he's giving you a copy of this book. I think they can all see this book right here now, and it's an awesome book, and it's basically willing to die for.
Willing to die for freedom.
Awesome.
That's the story of my father. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm not going to give you all the goodies in there right now, because I want you to really tune in to listen to us as we do, and we're going to do some of that here. We're going to do some of that here on the show, because initially we're going to just kind of Rich is going to kind of talk to him about some of the activities that he talked about, the dogs things, because that was an awesome deal about the events that he had, and this, that, and the other. He's going to do that for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll just go into the book.
So what are we doing first?
Yeah, the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to give him an opportunity to identify who he is, and he's going to kind of bring us up to date. Yep, and then after he's done that, he's telling about his activities and whatever. Then we'll talk a little bit about the book.
Right.
The sum of the book, and I'll go into detail on I'm going to bring him on my Ortegon Voters Digest talk show, but we'll do it that way. So with that, I guess we can just go on in.
Okay.
Well, thank you. My name is Ovi Montine. It's an honor to be on the show with these two gentlemen that have given me the opportunity to sit next to them. Thank you, Bruce, for your service. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
God bless the United States of America. Thank you for what you do and having us on the show today.
Yes, right.
What do I do?
Let's talk about the family. I mean, this guy here, he's got something else. I mean, it blows my mind, because he's got family, you know what I'm saying? He got a wife, but he's got two kids, and they're grown up, if you will. One of them was in the Marine Corps.
Yes, I have three children, two daughters.
You got three.
Two daughters and a son. Mm-hmm. Proud of them. My oldest daughter's married and made me a grandpa 4 times over.
Really?
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my son just discharged from the Marines after serving 8 years on June 9th.
Wow.
Proud of him. And my daughter, youngest daughter, was in the Air Force, served for 4 years.
Wow.
Proud of them.
It's been that long?
Yes, it's been that long. Can you believe that?
You got to be kidding me. 8 years and 4?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was yesterday.
It seemed like that to me too. It seems like I blinked, and next thing you know, they're in the military, and then next thing you know, blink again, and you're a grandpa. Wow. I didn't even get used to being called a dad.
Boy or girl?
Well, 2 girls and 2 boys.
Grandpa?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, aren't you? Oh, boy, I bet the wife is I bet she's very excited.
Oh, yeah, she's all over them. She doesn't even recognize that I exist anymore.
And I know, Grandpa with the girls, they're at the front of the line anyway, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. All the time. They love Grandpa. They call me Biku. That's what they call me. Yeah.
Biku. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then maybe you can just bring us a date up in terms of...
hear more about the dogs, right?
Yeah, you want to talk about the dog, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the dog.
I'm involved with a nonprofit organization that was started by a good family friend of ours, Shannon Walker. She's the founder and CEO of Northwest Battle Buddies. And what we do is we provide professionally trained service dogs to veterans with PTSD at no cost to them whatsoever. And it's an honor to work and serve the men that served us all and defended the freedom that we enjoy today. And, my father's book, it's called Willing to Die for Freedom. We do live in the land of the free and home of the brave. We live in the best nation in the world
But
right
before,
now.
before you get too much in there, let's talk a little bit about the dogs again, because I had the opportunity to go to one of the functions that you invited me to. That was awesome,
Yeah.
right here in Portland. And it
Yes,
was
at the convention center,
At the
yeah.
convention center. And why don't you share a little bit about what was that all about, Gummy, and how things and the whole setup, if you will. It
Right.
was a beautiful piece. Go
Yeah,
on.
that was the event I invited you to was our annual Freedom Gala, we call it. It's our most profitable fundraiser of the year. We go all out and we talk about it and advertise on the radio as the most patriotic event in the Northwest.
Really?
Yes.
And this every year? You do
Every
that
year.
annually?
Now, every year we couldn't do it in 2020, and we had to cancel this year as well. It's
Okay.
always the first Saturday of May.
Okay.
And so, due to COVID, we had to cancel them. But we already have reserved next year. The only date we could get at the convention center
At the
is
convention center.
May 21st.
May
yes.
21st.
Yes, and we're hoping to pack the room and be sold out.
And it's open to the public too, isn't it?
It's open to the public, absolutely. You can go to northwestbattlebuddies.org, our website, and see what we do and our events, when and where. You can buy tickets on there. You can also donate to support what we do. We are a nonprofit organization, 501c3, so your donations are tax deductible, 100%. So partner with us and help us serve the men and women in uniform.
And it was first class.
It was first class.
That
I'm
was-
glad that
that
you
was
were
pretty-
there. It was an honor having you there. You also served, and
Appreciate-
so
yes,
you know,
appreciate that.
we work with veterans, combat veterans that have been diagnosed with PTSD.
Right.
And
It's a non-profit corporation. I mean,
Right.
non-profit. And I mean, realistically, these were vets. They were there, all vets.
yes,
With their
and I got to
families.
tell you, so far we paired 162 veterans with
162.
service. Yes.
Wow. I mean, dog to vet.
Yes, teams. 162 teams.
Wow.
Veteran and service dog. Yes.
Wow.
The favorite dog.
Well, golden retrievers seem
yeah,
to
they
be
like
the favorite. They're more calm. They're yeah.
They look beautiful. You know what I mean? They were beautiful. They take care of those dogs.
Yeah, but we're not gonna
Partial.
limit to that. We have paired German Shepherds, Pit Bulls,
Yes, that's how they-
Black Labs.
Yes.
So not breed specific. Yeah, but.
And women too are very much.
Oh,
involved
absolutely,
in the
yes.
process.
We just graduated a class of 8 veterans, and 3 of them were ladies. Veterans, yes, and you know.
When do they do all that training? I mean, I know I had privilege to see the whole deal. I mean, they have that presentation is awesome. It
Yeah.
is awesome. But they show you the site where they train the dogs and the whole 9 yards, and they went through the training and all the dogs basically. And the other thing, they paraded the dogs at this function. They paraded the whole deal all the way up to the podium aspect of it. Oh man, it was just a beautiful piece, beautiful piece, and the food was awesome.
Yes, I got to give it credit to the chef from the convention center.
gee
He
whiz.
just
wasn't rubber chicken.
nope.
I hate to put it that way, but that's kind of like what you normally do. A lot of times, when folks can't afford this was first class.
Yes. Well, we doing it. Yes, to raise money, but also to honor the veterans that
Right.
have fought and defended the freedom that we enjoy in the United States of America. So we want to give them the best. And there's no better place. If you know of a better place at the convention center,
Right.
let us know. We'll look it up. But
Right.
we have a team, AV team, and lighting, and so when you walk in the room, you just automatically feel patriotic.
Oh, very,
and
very
that's
much
what
so.
it's about, because without the freedom that we have,
Right.
what would we do? We
Right.
couldn't even talk freely about what we're doing right now. We would have to give a report to the government. What are you going to be talking about?
Right.
And they have to give you the okay. What do you want to say? But because we have a constitution that gives us the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, all the freedom in the world that you can have, we have the right to live our life the way we choose to live our life, without government interference.
But I might add too that I want to keep emphasizing. I mean, all veterans were there. I mean, and that's why I said the public, but realistically, veterans came there as a kind of of giving them the idea of what to expect if you get into the program. And all
Right.
these dollars are spent for the veterans, for their dogs, because those are expensive dogs. Expensive
Yeah.
training.
They are.
That's very expensive. What's normal? They mentioned that. How much?
Yeah, for a dog it costs 25,000, and for a team it costs 35,000. And I could break it down for you. I mean,
one more time. What did you say that again?
25,000 for the service dog.
Just for the dog.
Just for the dog, and pairing them with the team, with the veteran, all the
veteran.
costs is about 35,000.
Because
Now
you-
let me break it down.
Yeah, break it down. 'Cause
You know, to just to board a dog right now is about $60-$70 a day, just to board a dog for a
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Training on top of that, vaccines, health checks. We train them for approximately 7 months before they're ready to be paired with the veteran, and then we train them together with the veteran for 5 weeks, every day.
Now this pairing, you didn't bring the veteran in and housed him right there with the dog, right?
Right now, we cannot do that. We don't have the
do that
money.
right
We don't have the facility. We have
okay.
the ability to board the dogs and to train
Okay,
them and so
okay.
forth in battleground on a 4-acre piece of land. There's Shannon Walker has a dog kennel there and training fields, but then we also train in the malls, at the airport, on the Max, everywhere. You know, with the veterans. Yeah.
Kind of locally
Yeah,
too.
man.
Yes, locally.
Kind
Yes.
of a focal
Plus-
local.
Yeah. Yes, we used to even take them to churches, but with COVID come in, that was limited. But we still train at the mall, escalators, elevators, through the bathrooms, how to maneuver with their service
They
dog.
handle escalators, okay?
Yes, they do. Absolutely. We got videos. You go to our website and you'll see videos how they. We would also approve them. We go through TSA at the airport.
Really?
One day of the 5 weeks training with the veterans, we go through security, teach them how to maneuver through security with
Really?
their service dog. Absolutely.
Wow.
You know, their service dog goes with them everywhere. And so we don't want to add stress to them. We want to add value and make life easier for them. So we teach them every situation that we can imagine. You know, on the Max, public transportation, at the movies.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me, Obi, how long have you been with that outfit, and tell us how you got involved with it.
Well, the story goes like this. We were at lunch with the kids and discussing what can we do to say thank you for the freedom that we have. And so at that time I had a limousine service, and I had the idea of getting 4 couples, veterans, and treating them for a dinner in style, and taking them with the limo to a restaurant and so forth. And then Shannon Walker, family friend, and her boys are also in the military. She came up with the idea to train dogs to become service dogs and gift them to the veterans. So, we men know that women have better ideas, right, than men.
Oh yeah.
So here we are, almost 10 years later, 9.5 years,
Wow.
doing that, and so
Neat lady, by the way. Had the opportunity to meet
yes, she's been training dogs for over 26 years.
Wow.
Yes, she knows what she's doing. That's for sure. Yeah.
You know, the other thing I was wanting to stress on too is a very diverse situation too. I mean, it's all veterans across the board.
Absolutely, yes.
All veterans. I mean, all veterans. You know, just a beautiful situation, very patriotic kind of a situation, and very
Yeah.
family oriented kind of a deal. And kids were there. I mean, I'm just.
Yes.
It was just a beautiful.
And we don't make a difference as long as they fit the criteria.
Right.
They're combat veterans, diagnosed with PTSD, and have honorable discharge. And of course, they have to be clean for 6 months or longer.
So you take those guys too.
Yes.
Mentally illness,
Oh, absolutely.
That's all
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
deal. Okay.
Yeah, they served our country, and if they have been diagnosed with PTSD, that's what we do, and our bylaws state that. So yeah.
Now, is this an ongoing kind of a deal? How long do you still monitor them as long as they have the dogs?
Oh, absolutely. After they graduate, we have a graduation ceremony.
Right.
I believe you came
I
to
see
one
that.
of those.
Yes,
too,
I
yeah.
did. Yes.
And I gotta invite you. You
Rich,
should
gotta
come.
come this time. Next time.
Yeah.
You gotta come.
Next graduation is gonna be November 21st.
Okay?
No, I'm sorry, November 19.
I'll give you
Yes.
my email
Yes.
address if you
Yes.
haven't got it.
And so it's a Friday, and it happens at the Royal Oaks Country Club, the golf course. They also have, by the way, very delicious food.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have a graduation ceremony for them, and they get to go home, but they come back to recertify after 3 months, and then once a year they have to come back. So all the veterans that we served, we keep in touch with them, and they come back once a year to recertify to make sure that they keep their training up to date.
That's right.
Well, it's quite a service because I, and what I do in regards to the No Vets Left Behind, naturally, I'm always trying to share that kind of information with veterans that I meet. You know what I mean? And I get really excited because in some one case I did that, and Ovid basically jumped right on it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times these vets don't know where to go.
Yeah.
The families don't know where to go.
No dog left behind.
They don't, no dog left. And I like that. See, that's a good one. So the whole idea was that by exposing that's one of the reasons why we want to have him on the show, to expose the fact that this does exist. This is not something that's going to cost them.
Nope.
This is not something you have to stand in line and say no to. You know what I mean? At the end of the deal, and lose their enthusiasm to live. And as a result of that, these guys are living longer, men and women.
Yes.
Are living longer their life, and it's well deserved.
Yeah.
So they've spent their time defending this country.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know, but 22 veterans a day could lose their life by taking their own life.
Suicide, yes.
And we served 162 veterans. Not one of them has committed suicide. Not one of them. We haven't lost not one of them.
Oh yes.
And so that's 100% success in my book. And when one a day is too much.
Yeah, right,
Mind
right.
you, 20 or 22.
Right.
Numbers vary. Some say 20, some say 22. But if there's a veteran watching,
That's right.
I encourage you to go to our website, www.northwestbattlebuddies.org.
Do it one more time slowly.
www.northwestbattlebuddies.org. All
from-
spelled out. Northwest Battle Buddies, all spelled out.
Battle buddies, just so everybody
Yeah.
can hear it.
Yes, Northwest Battle Buddies, all spelled out. .org.
Is there a phone number that you would share possibly, or maybe not? And we just use that one. Then.
Just go to the website. Now, you go to the website and see what we do, and it doesn't cost you, a veteran, absolutely nothing, not even an application fee. You fill out the information, you upload your DD-214, your letter from your doctor that you have been diagnosed with PTSD, and John Avenada, our veteran liaison, will call you. It doesn't cost you absolutely anything, but please go to our website and fill out the application.
And in most cases, that to the doctor, that's the VA doctor.
Yes.
You note the fact that, in fact, they are military.
Yes,
It helps.
Absolutely. You have to be a combat veteran
Right.
diagnosed with PTSD.
Right.
So if you have a letter from your doctor, whether a VA doctor or your personal doctor, that is good enough. Just upload that with your DD-214, fill out the form online, and John Avenada will call you. And from then on, it's just a matter of time before you're called in to be paired with your new battle buddy,
Right.
a service dog.
I was going to again, like you said, I was going to add is that make sure you go through the VA to get that letter with that brand on there, because they're the one that certifies you from a combat as a veteran,
Yes.
if you will, that you are PTSD.
Yes.
If you go just to an outside entity, even though now we can still go to outside,
Right, to your own
position,
doctor.
but you still have to go through the certification process.
Yes.
They do in order to be able to. So consequently, get that VA. It saves them time.
Yes,
It saves them
absolutely.
a lot of time if you can just get that. So get that letter from the VA that you're designated PTSD.
Yes.
Easy to do.
Yes,
And
very
then,
easy.
and then, like you said, that becomes part of the process
Yes.
with their DD-214.
Yes.
And if you don't have your DD-214, you can call up the VA. Call up the
Yes,
VA.
and
Use
get
that
it.
911 number that we normally call, and you
Yeah.
call up any VA. Just Google VA or anybody. They'll give you a phone number, and then they'll basically direct you. If you haven't applied, if you will, for benefits, they'll tell you where to go.
Yes.
They'll tell you where to go. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
If not, just fill out the form online
There you go.
and make sure you put a good phone number on there. John Avanada will call you. She is also a veteran. She served in the Marines. Her husband as well. As a matter of fact, her husband received a service dog from us, and that's how she got involved. And now she
Really?
is our veterans liaison. Yes, she will call you and walk you through to get everything that you need to get and where to get it from.
Good.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, and then this is kind of like a local kind of a process. That's why I was excited about it. These are all, you see all these local folks. I mean, it was something else. I mean, when they headed over here
At the convention center.
People were lined up. It was
Yeah.
as if to say they were lined up all around the building. There was that many people. It was packed.
Yes, it was packed, and we hope that now that we're back, to having to cancel for 2 years in a row because of COVID, but coming back in May 21st, 2022,
Right.
we hope to be sold out.
Wow.
We have a radio station just did a fundraiser for us for a week, 105.1, The Bull, and they raised a little over $35,000 for us. So that would be one team, one dog, and veteran expenses. Also, sister radio station 97.9 up in Seattle. I'm sorry, 105.1, The Buzz, and 97.9, The Bull, up in Seattle. They're doing a fundraiser the week before Labor Day. Yeah. So we're doing everything we can to raise money, and we hope that next year's event is going to be sold out. It's going to be awesome. Go to our website, look up past events, and you can buy tickets online. You'll love it. If you love dogs and you love United States of America, be there. You'll love it.
You know,
It's a good cause.
yeah.
Thank you.
The other thing I was going to add was that I remember when I got involved in the piece, I did kind of call the VA to see whether or not at least they were aware of who you were. You guys were.
Right.
Because of the location and aspect of it. Because a lot of times, a lot of these guys want animals. But my point is that there are so many restrictions in terms of people just waiting to go through that process.
Yes.
You know my point?
Yes.
And you got people lined up in many ways.
Yeah.
And then they really get disturbed. And then your point about the number of people that die, vets that die daily, suicide, daily. And again, that's one of the problems that they have, the PTSD. It's huge. And now we've just gone through basically the point, the numbers have gone down with reference to the Korean vets. You know what I mean? But now we're into the Vietnam vets. That's why I'm wearing my cover. And the bottom line is that now the Vietnam vets are having some tough times too.
Right.
And then we're going to be going through the whole Afghanistan situation.
Yes.
That's the young group, if you
Yes,
will.
the ones that are coming back.
But
Absolutely.
they're really having some tough times.
Yeah.
And I might add that at that point in time, now on the political side, now they basically said they're pulling all the troops back, and that's going to be That's going to have a major impact, I think, because these folks don't have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's going to be, how do they fit back into our society, so to speak? And these are young folks, and they've already gone through all kinds of problems
Yes.
to begin with. Now they want to figure out how to come back, how to find their families, and this, that, and the other. And we're having some tough times right now with representatives. So,
Yeah.
so I'd encourage you to please, as far as this program here, it's a solid program. And we want to make sure we keep this program going. That's a very much part. Again, This is not a commercial and things like that. This is a solid 100% piece that gives something to a vet. That in most cases we don't have that many institutions and groups like this that do this kind of thing.
Well, thank you, Bruce. I do want to say, you mentioned that all these men and women coming back, they need a pet. Well, and I totally agree, but an untrained dog is more stress on that veteran. But when they receive a service dog, it adds value to their life. It doesn't add stress to them. It actually takes away stress. And so I encourage the veterans to come back to apply and get a service dog, a certified, well-trained service dog that serves you and is there for you instead of you having to be stressed. Because the dog that you have, the pet that you have, the companion dog that you have, pulls you all over the place. It stresses you out. That you don't know what's
Well,
happening.
this is a marriage. I look at it. This is a marriage kind of thing. It's a solid marriage forever.
It's
You know,
definitely a
does that make
partnership.
sense?
Absolutely, it's a partnership. Yes,
it's a partnership that's so solid. And I tell you, every time I see a vet, even when we went to that night, that I could see the respect that the animal has with the handler, and the handler have with the dog.
yes,
It's just awesome.
Yeah.
And they listen, and imagine all those dogs, all the various pedigrees, bulldogs. You would think they'd be yapping all over the place and whatever. They were just as quiet and smooth. And they'd be sitting at the table. They were sitting at these tables, just sitting right by their handlers. You know, right there, not doing anything. You could pet the dog if you want to, with no problem. But he's always looking out.
Yeah.
You don't do no hitting or nothing.
No.
You got a problem.
Yeah.
Because he's going to guard that person, right?
yeah, yes, absolutely. You know, it'd be great next time we have a show like this to
Yes.
bring a
Bring them,
veteran,
yes. Please,
so
what
you
about-
can hear directly from them
Yeah.
what the dog does. I can tell you, but I don't have PTSD, so I couldn't speak to that. But I see the difference the service dog makes in the life of these men
Well,
and
we
women.
brought one in, didn't Craig? Didn't we bring Craig in with his dog?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
yes.
brought- yeah, you
a
brought-
long
yeah, we
time
brought
ago.
Craig. Remember him?
But next time we should
bring
do
him.
that
Yeah,
because
we'll invite
they have an input that I cannot
Right,
give in.
right.
And so that'd be great to have one on here.
I'll bring him back. Kind of get a sense of well, how is he feeling nowadays.
Yeah.
I know Craig. He's quite a guy. He's quite a guy. Well, good then. That sounds good, man. Are we okay? We get every part. No, maybe cite that how they want to access again one more time. Then we're going to jump into this
Right.
other issue.
You go to www.northwest, all spelled out, northwestbattlebuddies.org. Thank you for listening.
And then and I want to say, and then if you want to apply the DD 214 and the letter and to whomever.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a form where an application that you fill out, and then you can upload your DD-214 and your letter from your VA doctor stating that you have been diagnosed with PTSD.
There you go.
That's all it takes. It doesn't cost you anything. You already paid the price. Thank you for your service.
Sounds great.
All we have are cats at our place. I don't think they train very good.
Maybe we throw that in the pot. Maybe they can start doing that. Cats, because everybody like cats here, you know.
Oh, maybe we can get peacocks and train them.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Well, that was great. Thank you very much. We like that.
Very welcome. Thank you
Good.
for having me.
I understand there's another aspect of what this interview. We want to spend some time talking about this piece, right? This is for your show. Why don't you introduce it, so to speak? You want to do that? Have you read the book yet? Not yet.
He just bought it.
You just brought this back? What? I figured it wouldn't take
Well,
you.
you got it.
It wouldn't take but 10 minutes for you to put this piece together. You're a fast reader.
I'm reading books.
You mean?
Well, I have some in the car. I'll give you one.
Because Bruce might have just written.
Bruce has one
I've
too.
been handing mine out.
Oh, yeah?
He gave me a whole stack of them, but since I met him, I'm handing them out to say, read the story, read the piece. You know? Very important. I mean,
you.
This is an awesome. This is an awesome, and it's an easy read. It's an easy read. I like to read. It's an easy read, and it talks about something. Again, this is not a commercial aspect of it. It's kind of like an educational and informative kind of a piece, and we need that today, especially. We're going through all these situations today, and
With an objective in it.
very much so. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. You know, our country has always been an activist in many ways. You got me?
Yes.
Because we got all these various entities. You got me? And sometimes you try to figure out what do we call? Sometimes we call immigrants. Sometimes we'll call race. Sometimes we call ethnicity. I can't even spell the word. Sometimes ethnicity. You know, we got cultures. You know, but at the same time, we're a melting pot for every aspect of a human being throughout this world, for that matter. They all come here to come, if you will, and i.e. to look for something better or to take the next step. Some for whatever reason, for this, that, and the other. But we are the melting pot, and we're part of it. And it's so important for us to understand what that means. That's a responsibility when you sort of like signing a contract. It's not about, quote, bringing excuse the French, bringing the concepts or the policies of where you left, you got a whole new concept when you come here. It's a one-stop deal, and they pretty well standardized so you can understand it. And before we get into it, and what I mean by that is that, and now I can make my point about this piece right here. You've seen it here. I've got it right here. I've got it right here on the easel right here. Is the Stars and Stripes. Remember that? Stars and Stripes, the original colonies, if you will. But we had to fight for that standard, because nobody else had that standard, right? You had the stars right there, and then the Stars and Stripes. And we always making that point about red, white, and blue. Right? Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. And then I started thinking about that one day, and I said, wait a minute. Red, white, and blue. And everybody's trying to fight for their own little color. Right? Got me? Some say Native Americans, some say Irish, some say English, some like this, all kinds of this. Some say African Americans, and some say Filipinos, Puerto Ricans, Jewish, and, I mean the whole 9 yards. But but bottom line is, but this is the brand now. It's red, white, and blue. Think about it. Because people are always thinking about the Native American, which is fact. They're considered red. They always identified as red. So red, they first, right? And then the idea is that the majority of that one culture that was basically number two is the white. The white. And then the blue would be everybody else. Everybody else. I mean, everybody's in there. So it's red, white, and blue. And we've been raising this flag for a long time. I can still remember in high school. No, in grade school. I mean, you go right up there. We have that in the school. Everybody. And so we need, more than so today, we need to understand what that means. Not to say we take away. You can still represent yourself from your flag, from your home country, any day of the week. Sometimes you have ceremonies and you have gatherings. Once a year, just to kind of and you go and eat some of that meal and this, that, and the other. But the fact of the matter is, it's not about quote now. That is now the new flag because you got a majority of the no. It's all together.
Yes,
we're all together. We're one and all together, and we need that very, very much so. And that's another reason why I wanted to get Obi to come and Richard said okay and to come and talk about this book that his father. And he basically he's the guy that's been promoting and basically sharing, if you will, his father's feelings for why he came to this country. And in all due respect, that's kind of like where I got the idea about this flag, because I had the opportunity to meet his father.
I'd like an overview of why he came.
Sure. Since we talked about the flag, I'd like to say a few things about the flag. This flag right here represents all around the world, freedom and hope. When I was 5.5 years old, 1970, in the spring of 1970, our town got flooded completely. 21 out of 34 homes in our neighborhood alone were washed away. And my family escaped in the attic of the home.
Wow.
And the next day, we got out. There was still water in the house up to our knees, muddy water. And we walked out, and when we saw the devastation, we realized that life was never going to be the same again. We heard that help was coming to the square town in our town.
And where was this?
This was in Romania.
Romania. Okay, good.
Sighișoara, Romania, 1970. And so we heard the help was coming to the square of the town, so we walked there. We lost everything. I remember walking in underwear and tank top. Many other people were in the same condition because everybody lost everything. And we got there, and after a while of waiting, help came in the form of helicopters. They landed, soldiers came out, started unloading supplies, and some of the soldiers started interacting with us. One soldier in full gear, looked like a giant.
Wow.
Gentle giant. He had a smile on his face. Came and put his hand on my shoulder and said things that I didn't understand. He wasn't speaking Romanian. And that's when I saw for the first time this flag on his shoulder.
Wow.
You see, the American military goes anywhere and everywhere where there's natural disasters or conflicts. And when they left, that feeling of hope never left my heart to this day. Now, let me say this. A lot of people hate this flag. But those people that don't know what this flag stands for, I wish I could show you United States of America from the outside looking in, rather than from the inside being unsatisfied and rebel against the freedom that you have here to burn this flag. I don't think it should be legal to be burned, but we have so much freedom that we don't know what to do with it. But this flag around the world represents freedom and hope. There's people in many countries that learn English underground in fear of the government, but in hope that one day they'll make it to the United States of America and to be able to say thank you for my freedom. So that is my story about the flag.
You know, it's beautiful the way he laid that out. And then I'm saying, this is his father right here. And then his father basically had that same feeling.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
he was the one that basically initiated. He educated his son, and he educated his family, and then he came here, and that was a struggle. And in
Yes.
this case, this is what this talks to. It talks about the beginning, right?
Yes. Well, so fast forward, 1980, I was already in school. And one day after school, my father took me for a walk on the riverbank behind our house. And although we were alone, just me and him, he was almost whispering. He told me of a decision he and my mother made to leave Romania and to come to a land where freedom reigned, where we weren't being persecuted because of our faith, because of our religious belief. And he was talking about the United States of America. He said he filed the proper paperwork to leave Romania, to immigrate to the United States of America, but he expected the government to come down on him because back then you weren't allowed to leave Romania. Romania was a socialist communist country at that time. First socialism came in, and then about 10 years later the president of Romania declared that as of that day Romania was going to be Socialist Communist Republic of Romania.
Wow.
Yeah, so the government was involved in every area of your life. You couldn't make a decision what you become in life as far as a profession. If the government needed 100,000 welders, they gave the order and they would make 100,000 welders. It didn't matter if you're naturally gifted to be a piano player like I was, or anything else. You would become what the government needed you to become. You belonged to the government. Everything you invented belonged to the government. You had absolutely no individual rights. The government dictated to pastors what they were going to preach. They would be involved in decisions, everyday life decisions, to such a degree that people were
Let me make a point
rejecting.
with you again. I'm sorry I'm doing this, folks, because I read the book.
Yes.
And I get excited when I hear these stories, because I read it about 2 or 3 times just to get a better feel. But I can interpret it now far better than I can when I first got into it and got to know who Ovi was and his dad, and I spoke to him this and that. The point I was going to bring up was that how he was talking about government and how government was controlling everything. You see, he made the point about a government of the government, by the government, and for the government.
Right.
And in this country, in the United States, is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Yes.
And that's a whole different situation.
Right.
You got me?
Right.
That's why we have so much freedom. A lot of folks don't realize that every individual is his own person.
Yes, absolutely.
There's no such thing as it's an inclusionary situation.
Yes.
People need to know that, and we need to teach that. That's our history.
Yes.
And then that's the other thing I was saying, because I'm throwing this out because we got some events that are happening today a lot of folks don't understand. Because I realize politics is politics.
Yeah.
We right now we have a presidential race right now, and we got 2 sides, 2 major sides, and that's politics. But the people don't understand what that is. But that
Right.
still is of the people, by the people, and for the
Yes.
people. Because at the end of that period, the people will vote to find out who they're
Yes.
going to select. That process is there. A lot of us don't understand that right now.
Yeah.
So it's so important to know that this is not government running everything.
Right.
This is still the people of government, of the people, by the people.
Yes.
I just want to bring that up.
Well, thank you for saying that. And, you know, my opinion is, I heard it a lot this last year and a half or so that, you know, we got to do away with the Constitution. We got to change the Constitution. We got to rewrite the Constitution. I say, no, no, no. I think that it just has to be reread. We need to read the Constitution again.
Yes.
This is, the United States of America is the only nation in the world that has a constitution that tells the government what they cannot
That's
do.
right. That's right. That's right.
Every other constitution in a government tells the government the right, what rights they have and what they can do to the people. And that's why I think that people that want to do away with the Constitution and rewrite the Constitution, I think first you should consider reading it, because when you read it and we understand the rights and the freedom that you have as an individual, where no other constitution gives you that right as an individual, then you'll understand the blessing you live in. You know. And so back to the book of my father.
Yeah, sure.
You know, after my father told me that, we waited for another few months, and the mayor of our town, who was actually a secret underground Christian and also a believer in freedom capitalism, he told my father that the government will never approve our passports to leave Romania.
Wow.
And so my father decided to do something about it, made a decision that almost costed him his life. He decided to go on a hunger strike, and it coincided the hunger strike with 1981 International Convention on Human Rights. Romania was attending because they were a favored nation of the United States, and they wanted that foreign aid money, but they had to attend and prove that its citizens have rights.
Wow.
So my father wrote letters to the international news media to inform him that he was going to start the hunger strike on the first day of the International Convention. But how do you get letters out of Romania in a country where absolutely every piece of mail coming in or going out is read by the government officials? And so he invited his friends from Germany, West Germany, to visit, and in the middle of the night to remove the dashboard, hid the letters behind the dashboard, put the dashboard back, and before sunrise, our friends were back over the border, left Romania, relieved that they didn't get caught. Being caught meant a lifetime prison term, because the letters being taken out of Romania without the government approval was considered a crime. And so the letters were taken out and mailed to Free Euro Talk radio station. Also another major radio station was the Voice of America. And so they started announcing my father's intent to start a hunger strike. So the night before he started the hunger strike, I was walking home from the music school that I was attending after school at night, and two men beat me up so severely that I could hardly see to walk home.
Really?
Yeah, that was a message. We understood that that was a message from the secret police to my father to stop the hunger strike.
In Romania?
In Romania. But my father did not. He started the hunger strike, and all the news media from the free world were announcing it on the hour, every hour, about my father's status. It was against the law to listen to those radio stations, but we would go in the back of the house and would put another radio by the phone in front of the house, because everybody knew that the government was listening in. And so putting a radio by the phone with the Romanian propaganda, the socialist communist propaganda, they would think that's what was going on, and then would go in the back of the house and listen to a Voice of America or Free Europe radio station. And so my father was on a hunger strike for 27 days. Those 27 days, police officers, doctors, government officials would come, enter our home without permission, many times a day. I remember hearing, I was 14 years old. I was the oldest in the family as a child. I remember them threatening my father. yelling at him to stop the hunger strike, telling him that they're gonna kill him, chop him up, and feed him to the wolves. His kids would grow up without a father. His wife would be taken, meaning raped by other men, and so on. They didn't care that we were in the house. To them, we were a lost cause simply because we're Christians who professed to believe in Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. And because of that, you're not a first-class citizen. You're considered a lost cause. And that's how they looked at Christians. You know, socialists and communists around the world, they love to profess that there's freedom of religion in their countries, but there isn't. There's no freedom of religion. There's no freedom of expression, not even for a child. Throughout school, for 9 years, I was never called by my name. I was called in a very derogatory way, the repented one, meaning the pocaito, meaning the repented one, a mocking way of calling Christians. That was the way they would, address us. Yeah, but yet all around the world they profess there is freedom of religion, freedom of expression, but there isn't, But anyway, after 27 days, radio stations all around the free world were talking about my father, and Romania was forced. The government was forced to let us leave. They didn't want to be known as the country that let a citizen die on a hunger strike protest because they wanted to leave Romania. So they approved our passports, and we left Romania without anything but a change of clothes. And on May 22nd, 1981, we landed in Los Angeles. It's a little bit over 40 years now. Wow. And we love it. We love this country. This country received us with open arms and gave us the opportunity of a lifetime.
Wow.
And I consider myself blessed beyond belief to live here in the land of the free and home of the brave.
Wow. Wow.
So the book is it's the true story of my father, what he had to do to bring us to the United States of America. And if you'd like to get the book, you can go to my website, www.oviemuntean.com. You can also fill out a form if you have an event you'd like me to come and speak. I'll show up. Talk about the greatest nation in the world, the United States of America.
I got you. I got you. Again, this is not a commercial ad.
Nope.
Okay? No.
It's not a commercial.
We're talking. We're talking about the whole idea, and I'm glad we stopped at this point in time, because now there's another issue. Again, politics. I've been in politics for a long time, so I can define what it is. And sometimes, I try to educate. I try to inform and educate. That's what I do with the Voters Digest, to educate and inform. And sometimes the masses don't have access to that, and they need to know you do have access to it.
Right.
You see?
Yes.
And so consequently, we're into that point right now because of the politics of the presidential election aspect of it. People don't understand that, right? You got me? And sometimes they will use that as a negative from the standpoint of saying, well, you're trying to stop us understanding what that history is all about. See, this country goes all the way back to the Revolutionary War, right?
Yes.
Basically, because the mother country was almost like the same situation with socialism before, in Great Britain and whatever. But the bottom line is that that history is very, very important to the masses, people who are just coming here, and etc., and also those who are born. It has to be in our books. They need to know that this is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Yes.
And they need to be educated accordingly to that. And I'm concerned about the fact when people start saying, well, you can't go back up to a certain point in the history of this country. Bad or good, it's all of our history.
Absolutely, it's history, yes.
It's our history. And people are trying to stamp it out around the country, around us, in other nations, because otherwise it's having some impact. Because that's few folks who basically run the country. You got me?
Yes.
We are constantly, that's the other thing that we do in these United States of America. That's why we reach out to all these different countries, to let them know who we are.
Yes.
Because we only have one world.
Yes, we do.
And all one has to do nowadays is just punch a button.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I do want to say something else. I don't want anybody to think that I believe the United States of America is perfect. Do we have issues? Absolutely. Do we have a past? Absolutely.
Yes.
Do we have things to fix? Absolutely. But you know what? With everything that we have to fix, this country is still the greatest nation in the world. So I think that we should focus on what we need to fix and how to fix it, rather than burning the American flag,
Yes.
rather than bashing on the very nation that gives us freedom.
Yes.
I would like to ask you a question.
Yeah, go on.
You serve that country.
Yes.
You put your life on the line.
Yes.
I believe that all these people that are burning the flag or bashing on this nation need to know how it makes men and women like you that served. How does it make you feel when you see somebody trampling this flag that represents freedom and hope, for which you put your life on the line and served? How does it make you feel? They ought to know. I believe that a lot of them will change their mind.
Well, I'll tell you what, the way I feel about them.
Tell me.
I feel those individuals have been lost in terms of being educated.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yes.
they didn't get it in the educational system that we have. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when I was coming through or whatever, every day we'd raise that flag.
Yes.
As a kid, early.
And we'll put our hands over our
That's
heart.
right. We put our hands over our hearts, and we had social studies in our classes. We all had to go through these courses to understand what that's all about. We don't spend enough time to doing that. So that to answer your question about someone burning, I'd like to. In fact, when I've done before, I've even reached out to those folks to come on the show.
Awesome.
To come on the
That's
show.
very good.
I just
Absolutely,
that's
yes.
why I wear this cover. To let them know, so very clear, because there was a lot of effort saying in this country to basically recognize those individuals that have served their country. That's why I do what I do.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people will look at this, what I have, this paraphernalia, like I have a tie on the streets.
I love that tie.
You got me?
I'm gonna get one.
That's the whole idea. And the whole idea is that when they see me with this garb on, they come up to me and shake my hand and say, "Thanks for serving." Regardless of, now,
Yeah.
but if I take it's kind of interesting, but if I take the hat off and I take this off, take the tie off, all of a sudden the racist should come up.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, see, but that's a fact.
Right.
And so what that says to me is that we just need to educate and
Yes,
inform
absolutely.
people. We need to do that more now today because we're looking for
Yes.
leadership. But a lot of times the leadership don't want to get to the table to run. Because the definition of leader, to go up there and say what you have on your mind is such a threatening deal because there's so many elements outside of that arena that may have money or other things that will do everything you can to basically and to get down to that point of socialism and communism and all this other stuff. Fair? Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's
Yes,
my answer to
yeah.
that deal about there's no such thing. No one should be burning their flag, but we have the freedom.
Yes, we do.
We have the freedom that they can do that, but at the same time, we may need to visit that. And the way you visit it, you say, where did we lose out of educating that particular person as to what this flag means? That's why I made this point when we first started.
Yes.
Red, white, and blue.
Yes. And that's where we started. And absolutely, education is the answer.
And we better keep. That's right.
And you know, I got to point out something. At the end of the book, my father listed the 45 goals of the communists for United States of America.
Wow.
And that was done back in 1947. They realized that by military power, they will never be able to take over the United States of America. But they sat down and set 45 goals for the United States of America, and when you look at it and read it, 28 of those goals have been implemented. Let me say, education is one of their goals. To infiltrate, to take out prayer out of school, take out the pledge out of school, take out history of the United States out of school. They've done that already, and so much more. But you know, education is the answer for them to realize that they live in this great United States of America, and they already infiltrated and took out the history. If you think about it, they're not teaching the history of the United States in school anymore. They've already a long time ago taken the things that have made this country so unique, you know, and they have many more goals to go, and we need to absolutely to educate these people that are willing to sit down with us and discuss and see what makes this nation so great and so unique, such a special place in the world, you know. And so that's my opinion.
Let me ask you, the other point I'm going to throw out to you is that I'll ask you a question. Even now, when here you are sitting with us, sharing with us how you feel about this country and how you got here, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But even then, this country will never even say no to the person that's totally opposite of you. if
Yeah.
they want to come.
Yeah.
So in most cases, a lot of times, I think you shared that with me once before, that there are still some Romanians who left and came here that are still trying to figure out
Yeah.
how to counter what you say.
Yes,
Fair-
and
fair?
yes.
But we're
I-
educated. But the education piece is
Yes.
such that he can't. They got to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm still saying, hey, if you feel that that Ovi doesn't know what he's talking about, come to the show. He'd be more than glad to debate you.
Yes, absolutely, I am, and I don't hate those people.
No, I hear you.
Actually, I feel sorry for them because they came here and they had a double mind, so to
Yeah.
speak, because they had everything they needed in Romania. They didn't immigrate out of the Romania because of religious persecution, because of any other reason. So they had money, they had homes, they had everything, cars, everything they wanted, but they came here because they thought they could have more, and they came here and they realized they have to work for it and earn it. So they got disillusioned and they sold everything and they went back. Well, now they didn't belong back there either, but they didn't like it here, so now they came back. They're double-minded. See, we came here, we had no other choice, no other idea. We just wanted to be free to worship the God that we believed in and to work hard and earn our own living. We didn't expect anything for free, no flat screen TV, no cell phones, free cell phones, no health care, no nothing. We worked hard. I started working with $2 an hour, didn't complain, loved it, and was proud that I could work and earn the living in this nation that accepted me. I didn't care that somebody else was making $50 an hour and I was only making $2 an hour. I was proud that I could earn the money that we're living off of, and I went to work with my father. I was the oldest one, so I went to work and worked hard, and here I am 40 years later, truly living the American dream, and feel blessed beyond belief. And I would not go back to Romania or any other country anywhere else in the world or in this universe, because I don't know anything else. But we weren't double-minded. We came here, and my grandfather said, come here to the United States when we're going to get there, and integrate. Keep what's good from what I thought. My grandfather was a pastor over 6 churches in Romania, but keep
Well,
what's
your father
good.
too. Your father too, right?
My father was not a pastor.
He
He
wasn't
was
a pastor, okay.
no, he was
In the
the
ministries
treasurer of the church.
Okay,
Yes, under my
okay.
grandfather. Yes.
Okay. Well, all right then. This is great. You want to go on and anything you want to say?
Yes.
You can close it.
Oh, gee.
All right.
Gee, Richard,
Your
she's
show
getting me.
comes after this.
Well, I'll close it. Please bow your heads. No, I'm kidding.
Well, this has been excellent. This has been great. It really has been great, and I would hopefully the viewing audience out there. We all have these cell phones and the like. Hopefully, you will share this show with the rest of the folks, with all of the folks that you've got and your
Thank
friends.
you for coming on.
Oh yeah, and
Thank you for having me.
I mean, this
It's an honor and a privilege
this
to
has been
sit
awesome.
next to men like you that.
As a guest for my first show.
Oh, it's great. See, this is Richard's show. See
Yeah.
how he sneaks me, puts me in here. But I did. I interviewed him before, and this is great. This is a beautiful way of doing it because we were able to bring everything up to date, and he's emphasizing what's happening with us now. We need this, so we need this information, this educational segment.
Yes.
And you've been informed
Thank
and
you.
educated. This
Thank
has
you.
been this
And I do
fantastic.
want to say, you know what, regardless of the color, religion,
Yeah.
nationality, if you're here in the United States of America and you walk on the land of the free, you are American. Stand up for the rights guaranteed to you under the Constitution.
Okay. On that particular note, we want to thank you very much for being with us. And as Richard would always say, back to what you believe in, right?
It's been a good show.
All right.
Well,
good.
thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Bruce.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, good. God bless America.